Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Fargo Retro. My name is Eric, and today I will be showing my December 2017 pickups. And December 2017 was a pretty big month for me. I got some video games, I turned 30, and I, registered for school. There's some negatives and some positives, some, unfortunate family issues, and, you know, um, hey, the Final Fantasy turned 30, and a lot of big things in December 2017. So that being said, I made sure to keep an eye out and see what video games were out there. I did a trade with a local collector. I did a trade online, and I got some gifts. So without further ado, let's take a look and see what I got in December of 2017. So the first thing that I got was, I met a local collector here, kind of through Craigslist, and we actually had traded some stuff before, and we hung out in line unintentionally for the SNES Classic release. And a couple months later, he texted me and said, "Hey, I found some stuff here, and I was wondering, if you're interested in buying it." And I wasn't. So he posted it on Craigslist, and he had some games listed there that he was looking to trade for, and I had most of them. So, I invited him over, and we wanted to see what we could make for a trade, and this is the results. So he was trading Skies of Arcadia on the GameCube. And a couple of Wavebirds, 3 Wavebirds, 2 gray, and then 1 silver, with the receivers. So I basically pulled out the entire list of games that he was looking for, right? And I just had them on my table. I sent him a picture, and I said, I'm not gonna trade you them all, but I'm sure we can make something work out. And so for Skies of Arcadia, I traded that straight up for Mario Party 3. I didn't have an extra copy of Mario Party 3 that came out of the collection, but it seemed like something that was pretty worth it for a game that I've been really interested in for a long time. And obviously, anytime, the Wavebirds are tough. If you're going to be into GameCube, you have to have Wavebirds. They're probably some of the nicest controllers ever invented. You know what I mean? And they're definitely the first ones that were like wireless that I remember. I know there were wireless ones before, but those always seemed like gimmicks. And these were the ones that really felt like, hey, a company is taking wireless seriously. And if you know anything about that, the hardest part is the receivers. You'll find a lot of controllers out in the wild, but it's hard to find the receivers. So I ended up getting 3 Wavebird controllers here. I'll go ahead and show you that. And got some more receivers there. And I had to trade them a little bit for those. I had to trade them 1 N64 controller, a copy of Mario Kart 64, which I did have an extra of. Quest 64, which I did not have an extra of, and Rocket Knight Adventure, which sucks because that's something that I got from a friend, and I had the box for it and everything. So it was a little upsetting to see that go, but I got way more value out of it. I've completed my Wavebird collection for my GameCube. I have 4 plus a backup, so I'm really excited about that. And so one thing here is I'm not gonna have being back in school, I'm not gonna have a ton of money to be buying video games anymore. So I'm gonna probably be looking to do more trades and try and acquire very specific items. So another avenue for picking up games that a lot of people might not think about is just telling your friends and your coworkers and your family. I was in a Secret Santa at work, and I gave him a couple of things that weren't video game related as well, but I did spell out some video games that I was looking for. Kind of wrote down that I'm trying to get into shooters. It's something I've mentioned before, and I put down a couple of shooter titles on the Super Nintendo. And I did get one of them. I got Gradius here, Gradius 3 for the Super Nintendo. And I also got a gift card to Rock 30, which is the local game store in town. So, it seems kind of like, with gift giving and whatever. I just targeted something that was, in the range of what we were allowing at work. And the person went out and got it. And, hey, hopefully that made their job easier and definitely checked something off of my want list. So Definitely, there's nothing like networking with your friends and family, letting them know you're interested in games, and they'll let you know. They'll let you know if they have any, and they'll let you know. They'll start getting them for you if you ask for them or whatever. So, definitely network, and maybe your Secret Santa will pick something up for you next year. So a friend of mine shared a Facebook ad with me, which is again another reason you're going to want to make sure people know that's what you're looking for is retro games. And there's a pretty interesting stack of N64 games, and a couple of them I already had, and they'll be doubles, but a lot of them I didn't have. So I got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I didn't have a copy of that. I like the blue cart. I like the interesting one. Maybe we'll take a look at the other interesting cart. Zelda Majora's Mask. I don't have that one either. I actually only recently picked up Zelda 64, Ocarina of Time. Not that I didn't play it back in the day or whatever. I haven't had a copy of it since I've started retro gaming again here. This is what drew my eye to a lot. If this wasn't here, I probably wouldn't have picked it up. But Snowboard Kids 2. It's an Atlas game, and it's just a lot of fun. It's got that sort of anime, chibi sort of art style, and really anything Atlas does is just phenomenal. I also got Bomberman 64. This was another big get for me. I've been looking for this one for a while. I haven't found it for a reasonable price. Bomberman 64 was one of the two, I believe, launch N64 games I had. I had Bomberman 64 and I had Tetrisphere. I don't think they were both launch titles, but by the time I got the console, I think that Christmas, there wasn't a ton of games out, and so I got those. And so I probably played, those were the only two N64 games I had for over a year. So I really got into Bomberman 64. I liked sort of the customization of your character, and that was a big part of the game, is just kind of exploring the world. It was like a story-based game, but exploring the world, seeing if you find, secret, stuff, and then you could make your own custom sort of character for either the multiplayer or the playing game. And I remember there was sort of like Dragoon Kane style armor that I wore on one of my characters, and that was really cool. So I'm very excited to get Bomberman 64. I got another Bomberman title that I hadn't ever even heard of before, I don't think, and that's Bomberman Hero. So I haven't popped this in yet. I don't quite know what's going on with that. I'm guessing it's more of just your standard party style Bomberman game, but that looks fun. We got a couple other games here. We got F1 Grand Prix. World Grand Prix, F1 World Grand Prix. I'm not a big fan of racing games, so maybe I need to do that. I like, the kart racers and the, Mario Kart and Diddy Kong and stuff like that. But I don't like the real, realistic racing games. So maybe I have to give that a shot. I also got Vigilante 8 Second Offense. If I remember correctly from back in the day, that's sort of more of a vehicle combat game, kind of like Twisted Metal. But again, I haven't had a chance to play it yet, so I am not really sure. I did get a couple of extras too, so you'll probably see these, in the Fargo market here before too long, or, if you're interested in them, trade or sale, let me know. But I got a copy of Mario Kart 64 here. I just mentioned that I traded a copy out for a different, for the Wavebird controllers. I got a copy of Star Wars, Star Wars Shadow of the Empire, which is kind of a shooter, a rail shooter or whatever, based on the Star Wars. It's not exclusively rail, but I think there are rail sections. Wave Race 64 is a fantastic game. And Pokemon Stadium. So obviously the Pokemon game prices are coming down a little bit since the Pokemon Go explosion, but Pokemon Stadium's a lot of fun. Yeah, so that's a pretty decent haul, and again, I think the the principles are networking, see what's out there, and maybe they'll help you find what you're looking for. So obviously it's the holiday season, and in addition to that, it was actually my birthday about in the middle of the month or so, and that was my 30th birthday, and I didn't get a ton of video games for my Christmas or birthday or whatever, and that's fine. I'm not expecting to or whatever. But my girlfriend, she really knocked it out the park. She got me this copy of South Park here, complete in box. Box is in real high quality. I mean, it's about the nicest box I've seen on any video game that hasn't been sealed. And it was really cool to be able to open an N64 game for Christmas. 20 years later, after the console was at its peak. And it's not a great game, not gonna lie. But it's got a really good license, and it definitely came out when sort of South Park was at its sort of peak notoriety, you know what I mean? And you could really tell that they're trying to push buttons. The sound effects when you move in the menu or whatever are farts. There's a lot of sort of potty mouth or whatever, but it's got that sort of season 2 vibe of South Park, and it's pretty interesting. So I really appreciate getting that. And while I was there at Christmas with Sarah's family, we went to Target and I picked up a couple items on clearance here, a couple Wii U titles. So I got Mario Tennis Ultra Smash. I had to take a look at that there because, yeah, obviously it's still sealed here. I haven't played that one yet. I also got Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. I don't intend to get into Amiibos or anything like that, but $5, what was I going to do? I couldn't walk past a clearance game like that. So, yeah, definitely, sort of the post Black Friday, post Christmas time is, can be a good time at retail stores. Check their clearance, see what they've got there. You might be able to find some gems of, just extra stock that they couldn't get out over Christmas. So I actually gauged a second trade this year, and the second one was online, which I had not done before, but I saw a post over Christmas, asking if anyone had any, wrestling action figures. And I had a couple of, Chris Benoit figures from back in the day, that are rare. They don't make those anymore. And, I thought, hey, I have these available. Here's about what they're worth. I took half of it off and I sent it over to him, and he wasn't quite willing to pay that, but he did send me some cash. In addition, he had a couple of interesting things, he sent, so the first thing he had was Conquer Bad Fur Day box and manual. So unfortunately there's no game in here. But I had to get the box. It's one of my favorite games from. I still don't have the game yet, even, but it was one of my favorite games growing up, and I had it up until my early 20s or so. I let a friend borrow it, and he pawned it. And he actually had another game of mine, my Ogre Battle 64, that he pawned as well. And long story short, one day I was at a pawn shop. I saw a copy of Ogre Battle 64. I bought it, it was $20. I didn't have mine anymore or whatever. Both saves were there. They were both mine, Grevlek of the Blue Knights, and that pissed me off. Like, he didn't even play it. He's just gonna steal it and pawn it. So, I haven't talked to that guy since, but that's how that goes. So I got the Conker's Bad Fur Day box. I also got Alundra here on the PS1. And Alundra's a pretty interesting action RPG. It's got that working design anime feel. No manual on that, but that's okay because, it's a game I remember from back in the day, and I'm really looking forward to playing that one. So the trade online wasn't the only online interaction I had either. As I mentioned, I turned 30 this month, and one of my favorite games of all time turned 30 too, and I just saw a really good deal on it, and I had to get it. And that was this dirty copy of Mock Rider for the NES. Nah, I'm just kidding. A guy was selling a couple of boxed games, and whatever, on one of the national Facebook pages, and he had something I just couldn't pass up, and that was this pretty great copy of Final Fantasy. I don't think I've ever had the box of this before, but yeah, I mean, this is it. This is what started easy on the gaming. Not that I didn't enjoy Super Mario Brothers and Rampage and all that, but if Final Fantasy wasn't as great as it was, I wouldn't be playing games right now. And it turned 30 the same month I turned 30, and my dad passed last year, and my Uncle Sean, who's actually a really big gaming inspiration for me, he passed this year, and we used to play a ton of Final Fantasy together. When I was at his trailer or whatever, we would play it, and my grandma Julie, she'd be in the back room or something, and while we were playing Final Fantasy, she'd go, "I see spirits," and you're torturing the boy. But no, this was, it just opened. There was so many limitless possibilities, and it was it's a really important game to me, and it's really nice to pick up a copy of that. He also had a couple other boxed NES games. I'll just quickly go through them. Silent Service and Top Gun. They're both very common games, but I got them for basically, real cheap. They, almost threw them in because of what he knocked off of shipping for multiple items. And I really remember my dad playing a lot of Silent Service. My dad was kind of a big gamer too, but I don't remember him playing a lot of NES games. Really, the only NES games I remember him playing are Silent Service, Zelda 2, and Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! And so, I didn't have either Top Gun or Silent Service. I know they're pretty common titles. But yeah, it's really cool to get some of these boxes here. I didn't intend to start box collecting. Actually, I actually had a couple of boxed items when I first started a couple years ago that I traded. And you can see some of the results of that in a video that I've already posted. But yeah, I just when you get them and they're in just great shape. I mean, this isn't great. It has a rip along the back. I'm not gonna lie, but it's just in such great shape. And there's just so much sort of nostalgia in just being able to hold, a physical box like this, see the advertising, see what they think, the relevant screenshots and whatever are. It just, it was a really cool deal. So I got those 4 games, and the Mock Rider I accidentally got by accident. So if you're watching this is a secret hidden giveaway. If you comment below, She Sees the Spirits, before February 1st, 2018. If you comment She Sees the Spirits in this video below here before February 1st, 2018, I'll put your name in a drawing, and whoever gets it gets a free copy of this. So, yeah, that's some of the benefits of doing some of that online trading. You can get items that just do not come up in your area. They may not necessarily, I don't necessarily recommend eBay, those Facebook groups. You can find people who will, be below eBay, you know what I mean? So the last official pickup for December was actually given to me at a New Year's party hosted by my friend Ted. And he said, hey, you're into some old games, right? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, I have some of these. Is this anything you're interested in? And so he handed me Cosmic Arc here for the Atari 2600. And it looks like it's also compatible with the probably Sears Intellivision. No, I think the Sears had a copy of that, or Sears had a sort of Atari clone. Yeah, so I got that actually just before midnight, so it technically counts. And I think he has a couple other games, so if I see those, I will probably post about those. So thanks for taking a look at my pickups here for December. Again, December was a pretty big month for me. I turned 30. My favorite video game franchise turned 30. I'm back at school now full time. And, the negatives, hey, my grandma passed away in December, and she was really important to me. But the project here, the video games, the content's going to keep coming here. I actually filmed this video last night, but I wasn't able to get it out for Tuesday just because I was too tired from school already, and it's only the first week. So I'm going to have to sort of adjust the way I'm doing content, but I want to continue to do it. Probably will try and keep doing hauls and pickups, but they might not be monthly just because I don't think I'll be getting video games monthly. So that might turn into more of a quarterly endeavor or something like that. So we'll see how that goes. But by the same token, I want to continue to provide contents, whether that's going to be reviews or, top 5 lists, stuff like that. So yeah, definitely would love to see what you got for Christmas or your sort of holiday gaming items that you might have got here. Definitely comment below. There's a secret phrase here if you watch the full video, so definitely comment that below. Otherwise, a like, a subscribe, all that stuff would help me out. Even a comment, just any comment, if you like the videos, if you don't like the videos, anything keeps me going. But I'm going to keep bringing this stuff to you whether you like it or not. So thanks for checking out my December hauls, and I hope you have a great 2018. I hope you had a happy new year and a, Merry Christmas or whatever holidays you celebrate or don't. And, I look forward to seeing you next time. All right. Take care. Bye.